The scripture reading for this morning is from the first chapter of the Gospel of John. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, and his own people did not accept him. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God, who were born not of blood or of the will of the flesh or of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, "This was he of whom I said, 'He who comes after me ranks ahead of me because he was before me.'" From his fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. The law indeed was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, as this Christmas season winds down, I want to ask all of you where you stand on an important issue. This question is very divisive, and so I hesitate to bring it up, but it seems worth exploring together in this safe environment. And here's the question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I know, it's a question that evokes strong emotions. Some people say, yes, of course, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I mean, it's one of the best Christmas movies of all time. And other people say, oh, it's definitely one of the best movies of all time, but Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Those seem to be the two options as far as I can tell. Now, my family recently watched Die Hard on New Year's Eve Day, an annual tradition, and after reviewing the evidence again, I can say I see both sides of the argument. On the one hand, the movie takes place on Christmas Eve. There's a Christmas party and Christmas decorations and music and some Christmas cheer, however short-lived. But on the other hand, there's machine guns and screaming and explosions. And the focus isn't really on Christmas, but rather, spoiler alert, a group of international terrorists attempt to steal $500 million and cover their tracks by blowing up a 34-story LA office building. So it's a tough question. I guess it's kind of hard to know what qualifies as being Christmas. Well, in a similar way, this is January 3rd. Is this a Christmas Sunday? Our bulletin says it's the second Sunday of Christmas, still part of the Christmas season, those 12 days of Christmas. But the holiday feel has faded a good bit, hasn't it? The decorations and the music are waning, and the cheer is being replaced by the realization that it's January and we have to get back to the grind of life and work and school with a pandemic still on the side for good measure. Is this a Christmas Sunday? It's a tough question. But one this scripture reading from John's Gospel answers by saying, "And the Word became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. No one has ever seen God. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. Now, these words aren't dressed up with Christmas fanfare. There aren't nativity scenes and instrument ensembles or candlelight to accompany our hearing of them. But these words are, in fact, the message of Christmas, because they are the message about the Christ. After all, once the holiday parties have ended and the Christmas movies are all watched, even after we pack up the nativity scenes and the stories about Mary and Joseph and shepherds and angels, what we are left with is this simple but powerful truth. Jesus came as God made flesh, came to show us the Father. The good news of Christmas is about the amazing thing God has done. God, whose presence is so mysterious, whose ways are so hard to grasp. This God has given us a great gift by letting us see and know something. God has chosen to reveal to us who God really is. And God has done this by sending Jesus into the world and into our lives. This is what we celebrate at Christmas. Is this a Christmas Sunday? Yes, but it doesn't take the Christmas season or even a Sunday for us to know that this gift from God is the best gift of all. The greatest gift God has given us is the gift of Jesus. So this morning I want to invite you to turn to someone and tell them this: God has given you Jesus. Merry Christmas. God has given you Jesus. Merry Christmas.